Good evening. Welcome to the September 8th, 2020 combined work session and regular virtual meeting. The first item on the work session agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance by the student school board representatives.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The second item on the work session is the introduction of the 2020-2021 student school board representatives, Ummayh, Siddiqua, and Curtis Everett by Kelly Simone, principal of Upper Darby High School.
Good evening, Board of School Directors, Dr. McGarry, and the Upper Darby community. My name is Stephanie Sitek, and I'm the assistant principal for the class of 2021. I have the honor and privilege tonight to introduce to you the student school board representatives for the 2020-2021 school year, Ummayh, Siddiqua, and Curtis Everett. These two students encompass the character traits and academic rigor that are representative of many of our students here at the high school. They are role models for their peers and participate in several activities outside in the community. Ummayh Siddiqua is a student who came to Upper Darby School District in 3rd grade from Bangladesh. She enrolled in Highland Park Elementary School, proceeded to graduate to Beverly Hills Middle School, and here at Upper Darby High School. She has had a rigorous academic schedule for the last 2 years. Last year, she participated in AP Statistics, AP Biology, and AP Spanish 5. This year, she has AP Language and Composition, AP Calc AB, and AP Chem. She's participated in the Science and Spanish National Honor Society. When I asked Ummayh what it is that she thinks of when she describes Upper Darby School District, she said it is learning from different cultures, being an immigrant, coming here, and gaining the perspective of other people, which is something she would not have been able to do if she had stayed in her native country. Ummayh is a kind student. Her counselor speaks very highly of her. Her teachers tell me that she can be described as hardworking and very generous. She participates in many activities in the outside community. She does the Love Run volunteer, the Teen Reading Lounge, and has worked as a summer library volunteer. Our second student representative, Curtis Everett, has been a lifelong Upper Darby School District student. He enrolled at the Kindergarten Center, went to Charles Kelly Elementary School, Beverly Hills Middle School, and is now here in the class of 2021. He also has had a very difficult academic schedule. He had AP Statistics and AP Chem last year and has AP Calc AB this year. When I asked Curtis, what is it about the high school that's different? He said it's acceptance. It's acceptance from everyone, and it is extended to everyone. Curtis participates in track and field and cross country, and the thing he says he likes most about that is the family aspect, and that he considers his teammates to be brothers. Curtis is also a very talented musician. He participates in the wind ensemble and the jazz band. He plays the alto sax. He has been a student government participant for the last few years here at the high school. And when I asked him what 3 words would a teacher use to describe you, he was very humble, chose not to respond. And when I talked to our activities director, Miss McCandless, she was able to describe him as dedicated, personable, and tenacious. And she put in parentheses, tenacious in a positive way. Again, I am very proud to present Ummayh Siddiqua and Curtis Everett as this year's student school board representatives. I am proud of their achievements. We are looking forward to great things, and I hope that they do their due diligence to this community and to the school board.
We look forward to our student representatives. They are very prestigious students that we're very proud of already. That was Stephanie Sitek, the assistant principal of the high school. During this unprecedented time, while schools are closed and social distancing requirements are in place, the Upper Darby School District needs to continue certain aspects of its business, which includes decisions concerning pandemic planning. For this reason, the Upper Darby School District will continue regularly scheduled school board meetings while pandemic-related restrictions imposed by Governor Wolf and any local authorities are still in place. It is the plan of the school board to hold these meetings with the minimum required departures from normal operating procedures. The Upper Darby School District School Board COVID-19 Special Operating Procedures document outlines expected departures from those normal operating procedures and the policy justifications for such departures. At the start of each board meeting, held while pandemic-related restrictions are in place, the board will review the departures from normal operating procedures as well as their justifications. While schools are closed and social distancing requirements are in place, the Upper Darby School District School Board finds it's necessary to hold virtual school board and school board committee meetings to complete required business. These virtual meetings will allow for public viewing and participation. Following practices already in place for regular meetings, all virtual school board meetings, in addition to allowing near real-time public viewing and participation, will be recorded and the recordings made available after the meeting. In order to hold school board meetings, adjustments need to be made following existing board policy. These adjustments have been outlined in the Upper Darby School District School Board COVID-19 Special Operating Procedures. Dr. McGarry, I think you have some information on participating in tonight's meeting.
Yes, Board President Brown, thank you very much. And to those attending virtually this evening, thank you for your engagement and continued participation. As you heard this evening, we had two students lead us in the pledge. We have made every effort during this pandemic to continue with our normal proceedings in a school board meeting. So we look forward to sharing with you updates from our students throughout the course of this school year and continue to recognize our students for their accomplishments. With that said, we also are continuing to encourage participation from our public as we would at a normal board meeting. There are two ways for you to participate. First, you can send us phone in a comment or a question by please giving your name and the report with which you'd like to leave a comment. The phone number is 610-789-7200, extension 2000. Again, 610-789-7200, extension 2000. Please leave your name, your address, and the board report you'd like to comment on or question. We'll make sure that we read your comment or your questions prior to the board taking action on each individual report. You can also send us an email at boardmeetingcomments, again, boardmeetingcomments@upperdarbysd.org. Similar to leaving a voice message, please leave your name, address, and the board report you'd like to comment on for the board to consider and discuss and make part of the record before taking action on each report. If you wanted to participate this evening by providing a general comment to be read before the board meeting ends and concludes, you were to have sent your comment to boardmeetingcomments@upperdarbysd.org prior to 7:30. I will continue to update the public on your opportunities to participate throughout the evening, potentially sometimes prior to the board taking action on specific reports. Again, prior to the board taking action on any report, we will provide an opportunity to hear from our public and make sure that all comments submitted before the board takes action on each report become part of our record. Board President Brown, I will update us periodically throughout this evening. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. McGarry. The regular virtual meeting of the Upper Darby School District Board of School Directors will please come to order. There was a closed session this evening from 5:30 p.m. until 7:26 p.m. for matters to be discussed within the limitations for closed deliberations as prescribed by Pennsylvania Act 93 of 1998. For this evening's meeting, there were personnel and litigation matters. Roll call, Board Secretary and CFO, Mr. Rogers, please.
As I call your name, please state that you are present and can hear the proceedings. Dr. Hay.
I am present and I can hear the proceedings.
Mr. Desnoyers.
I am present and I can hear the proceedings.
Mr. Warsavage. Mr. Neal.
This is David Neal. I am present and can hear the proceedings.
Mrs. Dawes.
I am present and I can hear the proceedings.
Mr. Fields.
I am present and I can hear the proceedings.
Mrs. Curry.
I am present and I can hear the proceedings.
Mrs. Mitchell.
I am present.
Mr. Brown.
I am present. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Policy 003 allows the board to suspend policies or parts of policies when appropriate. Therefore, due to the current ongoing crisis and the governor's closure order, I make the following motions to suspend language in 2 of the board's policies until the next regularly scheduled meeting. Policy 006.1, which regulates attendance at meetings via electronic communications, I move to suspend the language requiring board members to be present. Specifically, the language would be, a majority of board members shall be physically present at a board meeting when a board member attends through electronic communications. And Policy 006, which governs other requirements of board meetings, I move the suspension of language requiring that those members of the public wishing to participate be present. Specifically, the language in this section titled Public Participation will remove the words that read, present at a board meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Mitchell. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying I oppose and state your name for the record. Anyone abstaining, please say I abstain and state your name for the record. The motion carries. The minutes of the combined work session regular meeting of August 11th, 2020 is in the hands of each board member and has been made available to the public. I move for its adoption.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the board? Mrs. Buford, are there any comments from the public?
There are no comments from the public.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please signify by saying I oppose and state your name for the record. Those abstaining, please signify by saying I abstain and state your name for the record. The motion carries. The report of the Secretary, Mrs. Dawes.
Thank you, President Brown. The report of the Secretary is in the hands of each board member and has been made available to the public. I move for its adoption. Second, this is Mrs. Curry.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the board? Mrs. Buford, are there any comments from the public?
There are no comments from the public.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please signify by saying I oppose and state your name for the record. Those abstaining, please signify by saying I abstain and state your name for the record. Motion carried. The report of the treasurer, Mr. Neal, please.
Thank you, President Brown. Good evening, everyone. The report of the treasurer is in the hands of each board member and has been made available to the public. I move for its adoption. May I have a second?
Second, this is Mrs. Curry.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the board? Ms. Buford, are there any comments from the public?
There are no comments from the public.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying I oppose and state your name for the record. Those abstaining, please signify by saying I abstain and state your name for the record.
I abstain. This is Mrs. Mitchell.
Okay, the motion carries. The budgeted personnel and enrollment reports have been made available to the board and the public and are recorded as part of the record. No vote is required. We will now have the report of the superintendent, Dr. Daniel McGarry.
Good evening, members of the board, Board President Brown, administration, teachers, staff, students, parents, and members of the Upper Darby community. Please join me again in welcoming our new student board representatives, Ummayh Siddiqua and Curtis Everett. Please know, both of you, that you follow a long and distinguished list of outstanding Upper Darby High School student board representatives. Kieran Shazadi and Lamia Mim, who served us last year, certainly led their student body in this community with care and passion last school year. We look forward to your updates and engagement each month. Thank you and congratulations on this great, prestigious opportunity. On August 25th, we welcomed back our entire staff. In total, we have over 1,700 employees to serve over 12,000 students, including 25 new staff. As a comparison, we hired over 100 new staff this time last year. As you know, one of our goals is to recruit and retain the best staff, and we are happy to report that we are making progress in this area. It is without question a collective effort to run this school district. I am blessed to work with an outstanding group of administrators in this district, as well as a dedicated teaching and support staff. We have a great team of people working here in the Upper Darby School District. On August the 25th, we continued the time-honored tradition of recognizing everyone who contributes to the success of our schools and students. And I feel it is important to recognize the many different departments and individuals that make this school district a great place to work and learn. As a district, we have had to create numerous plans for the reopening of schools, which makes an already complex operation even more difficult. Our original plans for the reopening of schools in a hybrid, flexible model changed after we received new guidance from the Chester County Health Department. With all of this in mind, I want to take a moment to extend my gratitude and appreciation for everyone who supports our efforts to run this district. Thank you to our transportation staff, drivers, trainees, and bus aides, our maintenance and facility staff, our technology staff, our safety and security staff, central registration, our support staff, including secretaries and PCAs, our hourly employees, including noontime assistants, our administration, our board of school directors, and of course, our teachers, nurses, counselors, social workers, psychologists, and all others who work with our students day in and day out. Despite what you might hear, it takes an entire team to pull off a school district. And regardless of being virtual or in person, all of these people have contributed to our opportunity this year to work with our students. Following Board President Edward Brown's encouraging and reaffirming remarks on opening day, I focused my words on our ability as educators to positively influence our school environments. I reminded our staff of our responsibility to lead our schools, our community, and to provide our students with opportunities to succeed. During my comments on opening day, I referred to an interview with Nobel Prize winner Elie Wiesel, a montage of speeches given by Academy Award winner Denzel Washington, and a song by Lauren Daigle titled, "You Say." I played several excerpts from an interview between Elie Wiesel and Soledad O'Brien entitled Unmasking Evil. During the interview, Elie Wiesel said that he could never have imagined such social injustices happening after World War II. He calls on all of us to, quote, unmask evil and to call it out when you see it. Elie Wiesel says that it is a, quote, failure of leadership to act as if you don't recognize or do not recognize or know the trauma and adversity facing our communities and our students. Over the last several months, I have read and listened to a lot of opinions, political and or otherwise, on the current pandemic and the reality of social injustice. I want to be clear. Our role in this organization is to be the voice and support to those whom we serve, and to fight against systems and structures that prevent equality for all. It is our responsibility to fight indifference by providing our students with opportunities to succeed. Following the comments and words from Elie Wiesel, I played a segment of a montage of inspirational speeches given by Academy Award winner Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington's inspirational thoughts and words call on us to be the consistency our students need, help them to develop passion for life, and encourage their creativity to what he calls think outside of the box. Denzel Washington reminded us to support failure as an opportunity to develop growth and help our students mature. Failure should never be used to hold someone back or to be treated as a final moment in time. Failure should not be used as a punishment. Our students need to know that goals are achieved through consistency and hard work, but we also owe it to our students to teach them how to face failure and persevere. If our students fail, and that is the final message, we all fail. I reminded our staff that grades are not the only motivating factor for all students. The positive and supportive relationships we build with our students and families are ultimately the single most influential aspect of what our business is all about, building relationships. Each and every one of us has caught a break, as Denzel Washington states. And at some point in our lives, we've had to have at least one person believe in us, one person to support and encourage us. Two, as Denzel says, get something we never had by doing something we never did. Denzel's passionate speeches point out that everyone has a gift and not everyone has a straight path to success. It is our job in education to help our students find their path, their talent, together. I called on our staff now more than ever to demonstrate just how important public education is to this country. It was made clear that we will help our kids set and achieve goals. And no matter how challenging these circumstances currently are, we will be the positive difference in the lives of our students. We will provide consistency and help our students develop the passion to, as Denzel states, dream big and fall forward. I concluded my comments by reviewing some of the lyrics of a song by Lauren Daigle entitled You Say. I asked the talented Barb Benglian if she could have one of her talented stars sing it for us on opening day. An Upper Darby High School student, Gavin Williams, wowed us with his talent by singing You Say. The song lyrics reminded us of how powerful an impact we can have on one another and our students when we express our beliefs and support in one another. Lauren Deigle's song reminds us to tell our students that they are good enough, that they do measure up, and when they fall short, we will be there to pick them up. I asked our staff to be the difference maker for our students in this community. I know that this current and virtual environment is far from easy and will require our dedication and patience, but we can and will provide the opportunity for our students. We will unify in our efforts to fight indifference, and without question, we will measure our excellence by the growth of our students and their ability to set goals, and as Denzel reminds us, fall forward. I informed our staff that while there is much to improve upon, I have felt and continue to feel a tremendous amount of pride over our efforts to rise up and support our community when they needed us to do so. Before concluding my report this evening, I wanted to provide you an update on our reopening of schools. I want to thank our families, students, and staff for such an outstanding first week. We have said many times that our plans are imperfect, but our efforts are filled with passion and care. We have provided over 6,000 laptops, and our student engagement and attendance has improved daily. It is a total team effort to make all of this happen, so I again want to thank our families, students, staff, administration, and without question, Board of School Directors for their full support. In order to officially welcome all of you back to the 2021 school year, we thought it would be nice to share a quick video with all of you.
Oh, hi, and welcome back to school.
I want to say welcome and thank everyone for coming.
Doug, say hi to everyone.
The start of the school year is right around the corner.
I wish I was there in person. So do you.
I absolutely miss you guys so much. You guys are the peanut butter to my jelly.
I know we haven't seen each other for a while.
I know we're all sitting here very anxious.
I know that it's a sensitive topic, but I know that we have to continue to talk about it.
5 months ago, who would have thought we'd be in the position that we are in now?
The COVID-19 pandemic may have impacted a pivotal moment of our lives, but because of our grit mentality, we made it here today.
You guys are here because you're special. We want to make sure that you understand that we appreciate all the hard work you do.
The resilience and ability to adapt have been inspiring.
We are so proud of all of your hard work on our online learning program.
Thanks for your patience and flexibility with technology.
I know the learning conditions and environment were not ideal, but we stuck together, learned an amazing amount about Schoology, and persevered during a very challenging time.
What we've already done
is more valuable than any prize. Let me tell you what I saw this year.
There are so many amazing things happening across our district and schools every day. We see classroom lessons, events, celebrations, pictures, videos, and all kinds of content that shows supportive relationships between students and teachers.
During a time when people were not allowed to be near each other, we still found ways to keep a good sense of community.
And all the positive energy that's coming from that is really uplifting and has really motivated us to continue to do great things.
It's a testament to parents trusting us with the pure pleasure and honor of educating their students. And then the teachers as well, actually putting these lessons into practice.
Teachers, couldn't have gotten through all of this without all of you.
We cannot do this without every single one of you.
Our teachers help our students build character and they allow them to grow.
The one thing that is the most impactful for our kids' achievement is the teacher standing in that classroom.
Hearing your voice, seeing your face, that's where the engagement is going to happen.
I firmly believe that we are on the right track and we're doing all the right things, and with your support and help, it's happening.
Let me be clear. As much as today is a celebration of what we've accomplished together, it is equally a call to collective action.
Don't just do what you did, do more.
If we continue like the way it is today, and it was yesterday, then our students are being robbed of tomorrow. You guys have the most impressive job on this planet. You build, you create, you teach, and you respect the importance of education.
I think we've always, in the 50 plus years that I have been involved in this school district, tried to present to our students the very best education that they can have.
They come in as little 5-year-old babies and they leave us ready to move on to bigger and better things.
Because Upper Darby School District is amazing.
I love just being a part of this district.
There's no place in the world like Upper Darby. Our job is to show everyone who is watching what it means to live in a community like Upper Darby.
I'm proud because I have the best teachers, counselors, principals, board members, and administration. I'm proud because once one is a royal, one is always a royal.
Once a royal, always a royal.
Being royal means being true to who you are and expressing yourself through your talents. Whether you are well-known, athletic, smart, artistic, musical, just had one solid friend, or you knew everyone. You have a purpose.
I feel like this is just the beginning for us, like we're just kind of scratching the surface.
There will be many changes next year.
So we all need to be a little extra flexible right now.
Not everyone's going to be happy with the potential outcomes.
And as difficult as change may be, I think it's important to allow a chance to shape you into a better you. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, become anew.
Regardless of how we do these upcoming days, think about what led us here.
This pandemic required us to step out of our comfort zones. When we are forced to improvise every thread of our everyday life, that is where we see growth. It is in how we deal with these struggles that we show off our true character.
As Christopher Robin said, you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think.
Do your best. No matter what challenge is in front of you, you can do it.
Because we want you to go out and be successful and represent Upper Darby well.
You may not be able to see it from where you're sitting right now, but one day you will be the inspiration for another generation.
People will ask, how did Upper Darby do it? What will we say? Friends, we will say that we thrive in discomfort. We grow. We blossom. In the deepest and darkest of times, that is when we shine.
And that's what really is exciting about it to me.
Thank you for being such a great audience.
And we certainly do welcome you back.
I've missed you very much.
I look forward to making a great year full of memories.
And hopefully get to see all of you guys soon.
Keep it up. Keep it going. You guys got this.
So let's have a successful school year. Peace!
So, Board President Brown, before I conclude my report this evening, I do want to take an opportunity to recognize two students, one we've already heard about this evening, Ummayh Siddiqua, Upper Darby High School, in recognition of placement as a finalist in the 73rd Annual Delaware Valley Science Council Awards Program. We'll make sure that she gets a certificate from us. And the National Liberty Museum's Young Heroes, Jace Wilson from Beverly Hills Middle School, in recognition of winning the prestigious TD Bank National Liberty Museum Young Heroes Award. Congratulations to both of you. We'll make sure that you get your certificates. And Board President Brown, that concludes my report this evening.
Thank you, Dr. McGarry, for that comprehensive superintendent's report. That great welcome back, and that video was just incredible. And congratulations to the two students that you acknowledged. I think we do have a report from one of our student representatives, Curtis Everett.
Good evening. I'm Curtis Everett.
Hi, I'm Siddiqua.
This month concluded a long summer filled with much uncertainty. The Upper Darby School District has done an amazing job communicating possible reopening plans, breakfast and lunch distribution plans, and updates about the future of after-school activities. As a result of COVID-19, our district had to devise a virtual school reopening plan as in line with recommendations from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, as known as the CDC. Our district created very detailed plans for students at each grade level to receive synchronous online instruction. For the high school, this plan consisted of 4 45-minute periods and 4 30-minute skinnies, 5-minute breaks, and a lunch break. Students are also able to schedule office hours for additional help with teachers. For students in the district who did not have the necessary materials to be successful in this online setting, the district provided Chromebooks and textbooks. Every student in the district will have an equal opportunity to succeed in this current learning environment. COVID-19 has been very heartbreaking for all of us in the district.
The thrill of reuniting with your friends after summer vacation, the adrenaline of game day as you are running through the field, the excitement that courses through you as you wait for chemical reaction to happen are all missed opportunities for the students in our district. Even with the unexpected and different learning environment, we have found many positives in this situation. Many fell in love with the online plan as it erases the hassle of a hectic morning routine. The flexible schedule allows us to work at our own pace. Additionally, we can maintain this daily routine in the comfort of our own homes. This is not what we expected, but we know the Upper Darby community, students, staff, and parents will get through this setback stronger than ever before. Thank you to the Upper Darby School Board and administration for allowing us to provide the monthly report. Thank you for welcoming us to the team. We look forward to diligently serving the board and our community as we continue to work through this very unusual circumstance together.
Thank you very much, Curtis and Ummayh. We're very proud to have you as our student representatives, and we look forward to many more great reports. We will now have the committee meeting summaries. We'll have an update on the August 25th, 2020 Education and Pupil Services Committee meeting. Mrs. Curry will read the summary. A detailed summary of the meeting will include the public comments and can be found on board docs. Mrs. Curry?
Thank you, President Brown. Good evening, everyone. The Education and Pupil Services Committee meeting on August 25th, 2020 had 2 agenda summary items. Both have board action required. The first agenda item was the Title I school level plan. Mr. Frank Salerno provided an overview on the district elementary Title I school improvement plan using the new PDE online future ready comprehensive planning tool. The presentation focused on areas of accomplishments and action steps to address the identified needs. This item correlated to all of the goals of the Upper Darby School District Comprehensive Plan and will be meeting board action this evening. Number 2 were the policies. A, 247, hazing. B, 317.1, educator misconduct. And C, 824, maintaining professional adult student boundaries. All of these policies can be found on board docs, and there were no public comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Curry. We'll now have an update on the August 25th, 2020 Finance and Operations Committee meeting. Dr. Haig will read the summary. A detailed summary of the meeting, including the public comments, can be found on board docs. Dr. Haig?
Thank you, President Brown. The Finance and Operations Committee met on Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. There was only one agenda item, and it was purely informational on the use of facilities system. The district administration provided an update on its progress of the implementation of the new use of facilities system called Facilitron, and has shared the use of facilities protocols during the COVID-19 pandemic. There were no public comments, and as I said, there was only one agenda item.
Thank you, Dr. Haig. The instruction and curriculum report, Mrs. Curry.
The curriculum report is in the hands of each board member and has been made available to the public. I move for its adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the board? Mrs. Buford, are there any comments from the public?
There are no comments from the public.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, please signify by saying I oppose and state your name for the record. Those abstaining, please signify by saying I abstain and state your name for the record. The motion carries. The personnel report, please, Mrs. Mitchell.
Thank you, President Brown. The personnel report is in the hands of each board member and has been made available to the public. Before I move for its adoption, I would like to welcome our two new administrators. One is not new to the, they're neither one are new to the district, but they are new to their positions. Ms. Melissa Figueroa Douglas will now be our supervisor of equity, and Jennifer Holstein will be an assistant principal at Beverly Hills Middle School. I also want to congratulate all of our employees who are moving from temporary professional status to permanent professional status. We appreciate your commitment to the school district community. I also would like to acknowledge what Dr. McGarry had said previously, that we are working on trying to recruit and retain the best, most qualified staff here in Upper Darby School District. And as you can see, we have very little turnover this year, but we do have some professional appointments, and I would like to welcome them to the Upper Darby School District family. With that being said, I move for the adoption of the personnel report.
This is Mrs. Curry. I second it.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the board? Ms. Buford, are there any?
This is David Neal. Yeah, I also want to second Rachel's congratulations to, I believe the last time I checked, it was 34 teachers that obtained tenure within our school district for the state of Pennsylvania. And that does go towards the commitment of our school district, providing a great work environment for our teachers, and it's helping us retain those teachers throughout their later years. So I appreciate them, and congratulations to those teachers.
I would also like to congratulate the appointment of Mrs. Figueroa. For many people who may not know, we worked hard, the board worked hard to get the equity officer a couple of years ago and could not do it, and I'm looking very much forward to that position to continue the comprehensive planning for the equity team and throughout the district. So congratulations.
Thank you, Mrs. Curry. Are there any other comments from the board? Okay, hearing none. Mrs. Buford, are there any comments from the public?
There are no comments from the public.
Okay. All those in favor of the personnel report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, please signify by saying I oppose and state your name for the record. Those abstaining, please signify by saying I abstain and state your name for the record. Motion carried. Okay, the policy report, Mr. Desnoyers.
There are a large number of policies on the policy report this month, and rather than go through specific changes to specific policies, I will say that three policies, policies 103, 104, and 249. 103 being non-discrimination harassment relating to classroom practices. 104 being non-discrimination harassment practices in employment, and policy 249, bullying and cyberbullying. The updates being made are simply further changes and clarifications related to changes in Title IX. The changes to these policies being considered tonight did not make it into the extensive changes that the board adopted last month at our August board meeting. So they're just additional clarifications and tweaks. As far as all other policies up for change this evening, the updates to those policies and administrative regulations are related to the health and safety of students, staff, and the school community based on COVID-19 and the health and safety plans approved by the school board for phased school reopening. So a large number of policies with the pandemic, with COVID-19, there is obviously a greater emphasis being placed on public health and certain procedures and practices. The need for certain procedures and practices has become apparent, and the changes to these policies are simply incorporating changes to give health and safety the proper attention that is deserved. So the policy report this evening, all policies are in a first reading, so no vote is required.
Thank you, Mr. Desnoyers. Okay, the facilities, the use of facilities, and the donation reports. Mr. Fields.
Thank you, President Brown. The facilities report, the use of facilities report and the donation report are in the hands of each board member and have been made available to the public. I move for their adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Before I ask for comments from my colleagues, I have a comment about the donation report. I want to thank James Troyer and Kathleen Callan for their generous donation of $500 towards the purchase of internet access. We're going through COVID and we have a large number of students in our district, so their donation is greatly appreciated to help towards that regard. Also to Alexandra Segi, Eric Snyder, and Barbara Ashman Marson, and I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong, but thank you for your generous donation of $400 for school supplies. And lastly, I'd like to thank John Green for a $500 donation for school supplies as well. Those are greatly appreciated, all those donations. Thank you. Are there any other comments from the board?
President Brown, this is Don Fields. I have a comment.
Okay, please.
I just want to echo President Brown's statements about the donations, and I also appreciate that saves me from having to read them out myself. So, but again, thank you very much to those who are giving above and beyond already what they give to the district. It's always very helpful. For the organizations using our facilities, just a reminder to please practice social distancing. Please, some of these organizations are playing sports. When sitting on the sidelines, not actively participating, wear a mask. If you can wear a mask while playing, more power to you. We are still in a pandemic. We still have to be careful, and we don't want to ruin any of these games by people getting sick a few weeks afterwards. And that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you. Are there any other comments from the board?
Yes, this is David Neal. I have a question for the administration. And it kind of goes along with what Don is saying. It is mandatory that they do follow the guidelines, and they had to submit a health plan. And if they are found in violation of any of those guidelines, the district could revoke their use of the district property. Is that correct?
Yes, we communicate and make it clear that anybody who does not follow the health plan that we require, we reserve the right to make sure we can pull the permit for the use of those facilities.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McGarry. Are there any other comments from the board? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Buford, are there any comments from the public?
There are no comments from the public.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Those opposing, please signify by saying I oppose and state your name for the record. Those abstaining, please signify by saying I abstain and state your name for the record. The motion carries. Okay, the Finance and Budget Report, please, Dr. Haig.
Thank you, President Brown. The Finance and Budget Report is in the hands of each board member and has been made available to the public. I move for its adoption.
This is Leah, second.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the board? Ms. Buford, are there any comments from the public?
There are no comments from the public.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, please signify by saying I oppose and state your name for the record. Those abstaining, please signify by saying I abstain and state your name for the record. Motion carried. Okay, now we're at our collateral assignment reports. We'll start with the Delaware County Community College. Mrs. Curry.
Thank you, President Brown. I'm excited to say that after a long period of waiting and the interruption of COVID-19, the Delaware County Community College Liaison Board is finally going to meet in October. We're sending email and we're trying to get a date either on the 21st or the 28th. So I will definitely let you know how that goes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Delaware County Intermediate Unit, Mrs. Mitchell.
Thank you, President Brown. The Delaware County Intermediate Unit Board met last Wednesday, September 2nd, for our monthly board meeting. At the board meeting, we approved support professional development opportunities for district and IU staff, a contract with Southeast Delco School District, another contract with Southeast Delco School District, a memorandum of agreement with the District 1199C for training and upgrading fund for the DCIU Early Head Start program. We approved enhancements to student learning and work experience and support for future educators. There's a number of different items that we approved that you can look at on the DCIU website. But one of the things that I do want to highlight is the robust Delaware County Technical School program that we do offer at the IU through this school district. There are articulation agreements with the University of Northwestern Ohio for automotive technology students to receive up to 6 credits. We approved an articulation agreement with the University of Northwestern Ohio for HVAC students to receive up to 6 credits. We also approved articulation agreements with Newman University for our exercise therapy and sports science students to receive up to 9 credits. Our advertising and design and commercial arts students to receive 6 credits. An articulation agreement with the Philadelphia Suburban PHCC Plumbing Apprenticeship School of Heating a contract with Careers Through Culinary Arts program, which provides the technical school culinary arts students with professional culinary networks. And obviously our cosmetology program here, we continued an agreement with the Upper Darby School District to continue that program here on site. We are still following the governor's emergency education relief order, and that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you. The Legislative Council, Mr. Fields.
Thank you, President Brown. Legislative Council will return from its summer break and meet for the first time of the school year, September 23rd, over Zoom. And so I'll have an official Legislative Council report from that meeting following that meeting. There is a lot of legislation being proposed. A lot of it is in committee right now. There's really more than anyone has time for me to list out, so I won't. But there's a lot going on. A lot of it's COVID related. A lot of it's COVID relief related and things like that. So we, as these come out of committee and stuff like that, we will probably come back to these and mention them and ask for support in some and ask for possibly to not support other ones and things like that. There is one that bears mentioning by Senator Doug Mastriano, which is for school districts to have an opt-out option for a mask mandate, which means schools could opt out of enforcing people to wear masks, which I think would just probably start this whole process all over again. So that's Senate Bill 1243, and feel free to reach out to Senator Mastriano at 717-787-4651, his Senate office, and ask him to maybe rescind that proposed bill, because it's not going to help us. Everybody, when the school's open, everybody has to go to school, but to keep them healthy, we're all probably going to be wearing masks. So that's not a helpful bill to our efforts to start our schools back up with in-person learning. And that's all I have for the legislative report.
Thank you. The Mendenhall Tyson Scholarship Committee, Dr. Haig.
No updates for President Brown. Thank you.
Thank you. PSBA, that's me and Mrs. Curry, and I'll start if that's okay. The Liaison Insider came out today, and it contained 4 important bullets. There was an advocacy alert about the fact that our district needs liability protections related to any potential COVID-19 exposure in our schools. PSBA is aware that discussions are taking place, but we need to put the pressure on to move this issue forward now with our legislators. So they had a template of suggested language to send to the members of the Senate and House of Representatives, and I did in fact send a letter today to Senator Kearney and State Representative Davison, and I'll ask our Director of Communications, Mrs. Buford, to put the PSBA link on our website so that others may follow suit with their own letters. Second bullet was PDE issues guidance on emergency and bus evacuation drills. The guidance impacts schools that are opening in all virtual hybrid format. Next was the USDA extends the nutrition waivers until December 31st or until available funding runs out. So that's important to note. And lastly, PSBA Delegate Assembly that Mrs. Curry talked about previously is scheduled for November 7th. It has been separated from the PASA PSBA School Board Leadership Conference. They're normally together. It will be a live event at the Mountain View Middle School in the Cumberland Valley School District, Cumberland County. Next, the bi-weekly buzz for school board presidents, vice presidents, and PSBA liaisons in Section 8. There was one on Friday. They have them on Tuesdays and Fridays. I attended the one on Friday, August 28th, and the primary issues discussed were the return and the reopening plans of various school districts and the breakfast and lunch distribution plans. Mrs. Curry, do you have anything to add for PSBA?
Yes, thank you, President Brown. Out of another, the daily edition that came out today for the PSBA, I just want to just acknowledge that the PSBA continues to work on their equity, diversity and equity, and they sent out a question asking about the steps that we're using to have a conversation and facilitate equity in our school district. So I just appreciate the PSBA for, really standing on top of that. And also, they're offering webinars for school board directors. And the next one is on September 17th, Culturally Responsive Leadership in the New Normal. And lastly, I just want to say that, the PSBA is continuing to build on its leadership as we have to vote this evening for new leadership. And I just wanted to say that, as they continue to build the leadership, I know it's difficult. It's volunteerism again, additional things on our plates, but the leadership that we'll be voting on tonight is in the other parts of the state. So we have to continue to try to build leadership in the southeastern part of Pennsylvania as well. And as they continue to do that, I just would encourage us to try to think about that type of leadership because we need it in all parts of the state. And that's all I have, President Brown.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Communications, Mrs. Mitchell, did you have anything to report?
No, again, I just want to thank the administration for all the communication and the principals and the teachers that they are doing with the families. I think everybody's probably on communication overload at this point, but thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to old business. Is there any old business from board members? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on to new business. Is there any new business from board members?
President Brown, if there's no new business from board members, I'd like to move into the PSBA officers election.
Please do.
So we'll now conduct a poll vote to elect PSBA officials for the 2021. A poll vote will be taken for each position. Each board member has been provided the biographies of the candidates. Please state your choice by saying the name of the candidate you are choosing or that you are abstaining when I call your name. I'm going to walk through each of the open positions individually by board member. So we'll go through each board member and ask each position and then cycle back through for the remaining board members. So first up, Dr. Haig. I'll first ask for your election for the president-elect.
We'll vote for David Hine.
For vice president?
I will vote for Sabrina Backer.
For treasurer?
Michael Gossert.
For PA Insurance Trust trustee, you can choose up to 2.
And I will vote for both Michael Faccinetto and Marianne Neal.
And finally, the steering committee, and again, you could choose up to 2.
And I will vote for both Stephen Scrocchi and Tracy Long.
Thank you. Mr. Desnoyers, for president-elect?
David Hine.
For vice president?
I abstain.
For treasurer?
Michael Gossert.
For PA Insurance Trust trustee, you can choose up to 2.
Michael Faccinetto and Marianne Neal.
And for the forum steering committee, again, you can choose up to 2.
I vote for both candidates, Stephen Scrocchi and Tracy Long.
Thank you. Mr. Neal, for president-elect?
Sorry, just had to unmute. President-elect David Hine.
Vice president?
Sabrina Backer.
Treasurer?
Michael Gossert.
PA Insurance Trust trustee, again, you can vote for up to 2.
Yep. Michael Faccinetto and Marianne Nell.
Forum steering committee,
Stephen Scrocchi and Tracy Long.
thank you. Mrs. Dawes, for president-elect?
So I had to take myself off mute. Bear with me. For President-elect, I'm selecting, David Hines,
Vice President,
Sabrina Becker,
Treasurer,
Michael Gossard, excuse me.
PA Insurance Trust Trustee, and you can choose up to 2.
I selected 2 available, Michael and Marianne Fascinato and Neil.
Forum Steering Committee, again, you can choose up to 2.
I selected 2 available.
Thank you. Next
Thank
up,
you.
Mr. Fields, for President-elect,
David Hines,
Vice President,
Sabrina Becker,
Treasurer,
Michael Gossard,
PSBA Insurance Trust, again, you can vote up to 2.
Michael Fascinetto, Marianne Neal,
Forum Steering Committee, and again, you can pick 2.
Stephen Scrocky, Tracy Long.
Thank you. Mrs. Curry, for President-elect,
Yes, I'm David Hines,
Vice President,
Sabrina Becker,
Treasurer,
Michael Gossard,
Insurance Trust Trustee, again, you can choose up to 2.
Michael Fascinetto, and Marianne Neal.
Forum Steering Committee, again, you can choose 2.
Stephen Strachey and Tracy Long.
Thank you. Ms. Mitchell, President-elect,
David Hine,
Vice President,
Sabrina Backer,
Treasurer,
Michael Gossard,
Insurance Trust Trustee,
Michael Fascinetto and Marianne Nell,
Forum Steering Committee.
Stephen Scrocky and Tracy Long.
Thank you. President Brown, for President-elect,
David Hine,
Vice President,
Daniel O'Keefe,
Treasurer,
Michael Gossard,
Insurance Trust Trustee,
Michael Fascinetto and Marianne Neal,
Forum Steering Committee.
Stephen Skrosky and Tracy Long. I do have one quick question. The Western at-large position is not for us?
No, we vote on
Got
the
it.
R at large.
Got it. Okay.
That concludes the PSBA election.
Thank you very much. Thank you for facilitating that, Mr. Rogers. Is there any other new business from board members? Okay, hearing none, we are now at the time for the public hearing. We will read both emailed and phone comments, which are subject to the 3-minute time limit and must include the commenter's name and address. Mrs. Buford.
President Brown, there are no comments or questions for this evening.
Wow. Is there a motion for the adjournment of the meeting?
Moved.
Motion.
All
David
right.
Neal, second.
Okay, please signify by saying aye.
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 Meeting adjourned. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Take care.
Good night.